Hello and welcome to Galaxy TV's Primetime News. My name is Irebami Salako. We begin with headlines. Federal government in partnership with International Fund for Agricultural Development unveils initiative aimed at cassava value chain in Ondo State. Plus, on the news, Lagos State Task Force decided decisive action to restore safety in Obalende regarding activities of hoodlums and miscreants. From the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump pushes into new trade law territory with an emergency sanction law to justify tariffs on China, Canadian and Mexican imports. Details of these are not coming your way soon. Do stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now details of the news. In a bid to boost the agricultural landscape of Ondo State, the federal government, in partnership with International Fund for Agricultural Development (AIFAD), recently unveiled a series of transformative infrastructure initiatives aimed at the cassava value chain in Gedegede Akoko North local government area. Among these is the state-of-the-art cassava processing mill, which is part of the Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises Niger Delta Life ND project. According to Abiodun Sani, the National Project Coordinator, the recent commissioning of 5 additional projects, including market storage facilities and boreholes, serves a dual purpose. Director of the Project Coordinating Unit of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Bukar Musa, expressed the government's satisfaction with the Life ND IFAD efforts. Ondo State Project Coordinator, Prince Olawale Ademola, highlighted the community's vital role in this transformative, revealing that the Gedegede community dedicated 100 hectares of land for the initiatives.
We are here today to commission 5 infrastructural support projects to the cassava value chain. We have a market store, lock-up store and open store. We have an aggregation center. And we also have a cassava processing mill with support waste-to-wealth facility and as well as water project that will support the actual intervention in terms of processing and also serve as potable water to the rural community. The community, they've appreciated what we have provided for them. It has been fully accepted, and we are quite hopeful that this will lead to wealth creation, improved job opportunity, and also support to the food security aspiration of the government of Nigeria, talking about the federal and the state government.
We have seen projects that will directly touch the livelihood of the community, especially the youth and women, for which the life expectations are concerned. And we are highly delighted and appreciative of what we have seen so far from yesterday to today.
This is what the community, particularly our beneficiaries, this is what they requested for, and the project has been able to provide such for them. At the inception, the community gave us 100 hectares of land for cassava production. So we have set up facilities that they need to add value to cassava production.
From all we've seen so far, the commitment to taking full ownership of these facilities is so obvious. With the turnout of the traditional rulers, everybody, both young and old, it's really, really exciting. And I know with this level of achievement so far, Ondo State will be singing a better tune, and our youth will definitely be off the streets.
The conduct of by-elections has become a regular feature of the democratic process in Nigeria. The trend, which the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says is fast becoming a serious burden due to financial and materials demand. Correspondent Kulojo in this report examines the essence of by-election and its relevance in democracy. The report.
Due to deaths, expulsion or resignation of elected representatives from a political party, parliamentary seats sometimes become vacant between elections, How often vacancies arise largely depends on the term of office. The shorter the term, the less frequently there are likely to be vacancies. Over the years, by-election has become one of the features of the electoral system in Nigeria, a development which some stakeholders in the electoral system said has come to stay. To the
In the United States, they hardly conduct special election called by-election. They only do so in a few states. So it's not every time that a vacancy occurs.
It's not part of whatever we are considering for now. Although it's unfortunate that this thing happened, people die, or although some are due to resignation. So, but if such opportunity comes, we should not restrict it to certain people. We should leave it open for everybody. This democracy. Let the person with the highest number win. That's what democracy is all about. It's about the number.
Not only that, other stakeholders review the capacity of the commission and emphasize the need for more budgetary allocation for effective performance of the commission.
The issue of election is not just about the election year alone, and even from the law, fund for election is supposed to be released a year before the actual election, and you are going to have some governorship election next year.
And on electoral reforms, it's pointless if we want all these things done and INEC is not properly funded. It is part of what we suggested. INEC has to be independent. INEC cannot be independent. And anyway, really, I feel that is a no-brainer. Whatever the committee has to do to get the funding, all these things are constitutional. They must be done.
To the electoral body, there is the need to organize a retreat where both the legislature and INEC will collaborate, exchange ideas, and find solutions to the pressing issues affecting the electoral process in Nigeria.
We need a big, major conversation in this country. Nigeria has no election season any longer. I said earlier that in Ghana, they conducted only 3 by-elections between one general election and another. In our own case, even before the midterm, vacancies have now occurred in 21 constituencies. But not only that, we also have 8 governorship elections conducted off-cycle. So the commission is conducting elections virtually all year round. We have little time to recover our senses and begin to plan for the next election.
It is hoped that all ends will be on the day in Nigeria. Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
Not other stories, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says a 59-year-old businessman, Chijioke Nana Igbokwe, has undergone a surgery exploratory laparotomy to let out 57 out of 81 pellets of cocaine stuck in his stomach after 7 days of ingesting the illicit substance in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. According to a statement by the NDLEA spokesperson, Femi Babafemi, Igbokwe was arrested at the arrival of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport during the inward clearance of passengers on Ethiopian Airlines flight on Sunday, 26 January 2025. He was promptly taken for body scan, which revealed illicit drugs in his system. He was soon after taken into NDLEA custody for extradition observation. Babafemi added that in total, the NDLEA recovered 81 cocaine pellets weighing 1,009 ounces. In response to persistent complaints from residents of Wabalinde regarding activities of hoodlums and miscreants who attack innocent citizens, the Lagos State Task Force has taken decisive action to restore safety in the area. This came against the backdrop of increased complaints by the management of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA, who also sought the intervention of the task force as criminal elements has turned the TBS bus terminal into hideout for their illicit activities. Acting swiftly, operatives of the Lagos State Task Force, led by Chairman CSP Adetayo Akerile, raided the location on Saturday night and arrested 22 suspected criminals who possessed harmful weapons and hard drugs on them. They had been using the terminal as a base to launch attacks on unsuspecting commuters and residents. CSP Akerile reiterated the state government's commitment to ensuring the safety of Lagosians and maintaining law and order across the state. He warned that any individual involved in criminal activities or making life difficult for law-abiding citizens will face the full wrath of the law. Akerile assured the management and residents that routine patrols and surveillance by the agency will be channeled towards the area to forestall a recurrence of the ugly incident that has been recorded in the past. You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. Operatives of the Nigerian Police Force rescued 13 traffic victims and 3 kidnapped victims at different locations in Nigeria. The details of that now to the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with Thoughts on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with Thoughts on our Facebook page, facebook.com. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. As Nigerians continue to battle insurgency in the country, soldiers who are at the receiving end continue to count their loss, as there cannot be war without casualties. It is also implied that if the country must win the war against insurgency, then the foot soldiers must be sure of what will happen to their lives or that of their families in case of any eventualities. Galaxy TV was on Yakusak sent in this report. In military operations within the country and across the world, some opinion leaders have said that those who lost their lives or got wounded must be treated better as it is obtained in other climes. For instance, in the United States of America, families of a fallen hero is expected to get at least $500,000 as part of his insurance for not returning from war. While it is agreed that Nigeria might have some form of compensation given to families of fallen heroes, more could be done to continue to serve as encouragement for these soldiers who sacrifice themselves for the country.
This message, will go to the Commander-in-Chief so that those who are concerned to look after the welfare of our gallant troops.
Even they are dying.
More information and training of personnel which will help in equipping them for the task ahead, because they will need to be fully ready if they must defeat the enemy.
There is always this misunderstanding. Somehow, these soldiers, you see them, sometimes they are not well informed about things. I'm not saying it's their fault. It's more or less like what is happening to the generality of Nigerians. We are always, at the leadership level, we try to hide, to compress information.
Ensuring the safety and security of all road users in the FCT. And to the story teased earlier, operatives of the Nigerian Police Force have rescued 13 trafficked victims and 3 kidnapped victims at different locations. The Force Public Relations Officer, Muyiwa Adejobi, in a statement issued in Abuja, said the feat was part of the ongoing effort to strengthen national security and curb crimes and criminality. According to him, police operatives attached to the Kaduna State Command on 31st of January 2025 at about 7 p.m. apprehended 3 persons identified as Samson Peters, male age 25, Aruna Dunia, male aged 45, and Abdulrazak Olawale, male age 58. The suspects were arrested while trafficking 13 victims to Oyo State in an unmarked vehicle. The victims were rescued and the investigation is still ongoing. The statement added that on January 29, 2025, police operatives of the Ogun State Command carried out a covert operation and located the den of kidnappers responsible for an earlier reported abduction on January 25, 2025. Upon sighting the operatives, the gang engaged the police operatives in a gun duel, while the confrontation led to the neutralization of 5 of the gang members and the successful rescue of the 3 kidnapped victims. It added that with the recovery of some arms and ammunition of various calibers, 3 mobile phones and the cash sum of 5.2 million naira also received were the vehicles of the kidnapped victims. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeoluegbe, just as he encouraged all police officers to remain relentless towards the goal of achieving peace and reassures members of the public that the police force remains committed to effectively combating all security threats. The Federal Capital Territory FCT Police Command rescued the 25-year-old of Abuja. The FCT Police Command, in its statements by its spokesperson SP Josephine Ade on Sunday, said the suspect who allegedly lured the victims under false pretenses remains at large as police launch. According to the statement, the incident occurred on January 31, 2025, when officers responded to a distress call from hotel staff. Upon arrival, they found Eze tied to a small chair with a mouth covered in plaster. It added that the police immediately freed and rushed the victim, who was unconscious and in distress, to Wuse District Hospital, where she regained consciousness. Police investigations revealed that the victim was checked into a hotel a day earlier with the man who identified himself as Emmanuel Okoro from Lagos State. However, she later revealed that she had met the suspect online, where he used the alias Michael Prince and claimed to be an oil company employee from Delta State. The FCT Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, strongly condemned the attack and urged residents, particularly young women, to exercise caution when meeting people they do not know personally. He assured the public that the police are working tirelessly to track down the suspect and bring him to justice. Operatives of the Anambra State Police Area Command at Ogidi in Idemili North Local Government Area of the state have arrested the 32-year-old Joshua Senior for adopting a 5-year-old girl. Police spokesperson Tochukwu Ikenga, who made this known in a statement, said the suspect took the baby from the parents and absconded. According to the police, the suspect had already boarded the intelligence unit of the command. The suspect is said to be presently undergoing interrogation after his arrest to ascertain the motives and determine whether the incident is part of a larger child trafficking network. Meanwhile, the Anambra State Police Commissioner, CP Nanga Bono, said the command is committed to protecting vulnerable members of society to combat child abduction and trafficking. As part of efforts in boosting the security architecture in the Gokana local government area of Rivers State, the executive chairman of the council, Monday Dumiye, had commissioned the newly reconstructed administrative block designed to accommodate various federal agencies. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony held in Gokana as part of commitment to driving impact of development in Gokana, he emphasized that providing these agencies with a conducive working environment is crucial as it will enhance their operational effectiveness in safeguarding critical national assets and strengthening security in Gokana. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Tami Danagogo, commended the council boss for his impressive accomplishment within just 3 months in office.
A couple of days ago, we inaugurated a laudable project in Gokana. We started with the Sienna bus we gave to the security agencies in Gokana. And today, we have remodeled the operational hub of all federal agencies in Gokana. These initiatives mark a significant investment in the nation's security, not just the nation, but Rivers State and Gokana.
Officers and supporting with operational facilities, enhancing their jobs in the LGA.
Rivers State has started enjoying the peace that has been established by the present administration. So we are very, very grateful to associate with you people. And the executive chairman, David Dumiye, has made us proud once again by giving us a very conducive office accommodation. Now, not only accommodation with an operational vehicle. Tell me what it meant. Although they said who much is given, much providing the people of Gokana a very good security outfit. So you can go home and sleep with your two eyes while we are working for you at night.
I want to thank the chairman, whom I'm meeting today, one-on-one, for considering NIMSI, making us a beneficiary of this wonderful thing you've done here. An agency of the government set up to identify every Nigerian and legal resident to make sure we have a credible database in Nigeria has come to stay. And we assure you, in Gokana local government area, we will make sure everybody is captured because the names have gone a step further.
Today we are here to commission this edifice. These buildings are not for the operations of the core.
Hello and welcome to Tracking the Week. In a turn of event, Are Afe Babalola, the founder of Afe Babalola University in Ado-Ekiti, decided to drop all criminal defamation charges against human rights lawyer Dele Faratimi. This resolution came after heartfelt appeals from prominent figures including the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, and other distinguished traditional rulers, as well as influential personalities such as Bishop Koka and former President Olusegun Obasanjo. The charges stemmed from Faratimi's book Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System, in which he alleged that Babalola had corrupted the judiciary. Addressing journalists, Babalola expressed that he felt compelled to heed the wisdom of the Yoruba traditional leaders, emphasizing that the words of an Oba holds great authority in their culture. Oba Ogunwusi lauded Babalola for his immense contribution to the Yoruba people, nation and the global community, further urging him to consider the collective pleas for reconciliation. This gesture marks a moment of unity and understanding, showcasing the power of traditional institutions in resolving disputes. Still on Monday, Vice President Kashim Shettima said it is the responsibility of elected leaders in Nigeria to market the nation's democracy in terms of the quality of governance and other conduct and disposition towards the rule of law and respect for the welfare and security of its citizens. Shettima gave the assertion at the opening ceremony of the National Conference on Strengthening Democracy in Nigeria held in Abuja on Monday. Nigeria's vice president was represented by his special advisor on political matters, Hakeem Baba Ahmed, hammered on the need for Nigerian democracy to mean more than asking Nigerians to line up every 4 years to elect leaders, and that leaders commit to the demands of elected leadership in every transparent manner that will encourage good governance. Shettima also wanted leaders in democratic system is to lead with a vision which identifies a path and destination that ultimately benefits the citizens, even where some have legitimate reservations or have issues with them. The conference also availed all the African leaders the opportunity to suggest ways to improve African democracy and bring succor to the citizens. On Tuesday, the Nigerian government restated its commitment to promoting gender inclusivity in all parts of the country. Vice President Kashim Shettima made a declaration on Tuesday while briefing journalists on plans for the forthcoming Gender Inclusive Conference themed Breaking Down Barriers and Building Resilience for Sustainable Economic and Financial Inclusion for Women. The Vice President was represented by his Deputy Chief of Staff, Ibrahim Hejida, revealed that the event would take place in the State House Conference Center on Thursday and Friday, highlighting the importance of women and the need to empower them for national development, the Vice President said. The flagship initiative is part of the implementation of the recommendations of the ASU Accord for Economic and Financial Inclusion. He said it will provide aimed at empowering women and addressing official issues of gender equality across Nigeria and the African continent. The Vice President added that the conference will further showcase President Bola Tinubu's commitment to advancing economic inclusion for women as well as achieve Goal 5 of the Sustainable Development Goals. Still on Tuesday, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) expressed readiness to strengthen collaboration with the European Union in sustaining Nigeria's electoral democracy. Chairman of the Commission, Mahmoud Yakubu, disclosed this while receiving the new EU ambassador to Nigeria, Gauter Mignot, in Abuja. Mahmoud recalled that following the 2023 general election, the European Union Election Observation Mission, according to the chairman, 8 specific recommendations from this group has led to the enhancement of the nation's electoral system in the areas of dissemination of regulations and guidelines, the election training of election duty staff, employment of electoral technology, among others. He further disclosed that the Commission has commenced the implementation of aspects of the recommendations that only require administrative action to exist only when a credible electoral system enjoys the trust of citizens and stakeholders, emphasizing its position on political neutrality. The EU assured of its continued support to INEC in achieving its mandate. On Wednesday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu called for a multifaceted response to terrorism, insurgency and other forms of security threat in the Lake Chad Basin region. According to him, the chain of events that has disrupted the stability of the region in the past 15 years demands that power must be wielded responsibly to guarantee the safety and prosperity of the people. The Nigerian president stated this on Wednesday when he declared open the 5th meeting of the Lake Chad Basin. The meeting brings together 8 governors from Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, and the Republic of Niger, as well as humanitarian organizations and local and international communities to address pressing security challenges and explore solutions for stability in the Lake Chad region. The military power is necessary to contain these security threats. It must be accompanied by strategies that address their root causes, including poverty, inequality, and lack of job opportunities for the region's young population, the Vice President said. Earlier, the host governor of Yobe State described the forum as an opportunity for states around the Lake Chad Basin region across Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon republics to discuss and reflect on the journey so far since the regional strategy for stabilization, recovery, and resilience became operational 6 years ago. Still on Wednesday, members of the #EndBadGovernance Now on Wednesday stormed the Federal High Court in Abuja, demanding the release of the remaining 11 suspects facing trial in court. The protesters, with banners of various descriptions, said since the last time suspects were brought to court, noting nothing has been heard about the matter. Correspondent Kulujo reports that the protesters, led by NLB, converged on the entrance to the Federal High Court in Abuja, despite heavy presence of security operatives against them by the federal government. Not only that, the protesters condemned the arrest, detention and arraignment of former presidential candidate and activist Omoyele Sowore, saying he should not be prosecuted for speaking the truth to power. The protesters also criticized the economic policies of the Tinubu-led administration, saying this has impoverished many Nigerians who are now living in penury. On Thursday, President Bola Tinubu said the positive report on Nigerians in the diaspora would inspire the younger generation on values that enhance the nation's image. The president commended diaspora Nigerians while receiving letters of credence from the High Commissioner of Canada to Nigeria, Pasquale Salvaggio, and the Commissioner of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius F. Sande, at the State House. President Tinubu also received letters of credence from Legis Guillermo Heli, the Canadian High Commissioner, told President Tinubu that Nigerians are active in trade, high responsibility, civility and purposefulness when pursuing their goal. Salvaggio, who had previously worked in Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, said Canada seeks to expand its interest in oil and gas, ICT and agriculture in its partnership with Nigeria. President Tinubu lauded Nigerians' accomplishments abroad, describing them as an inspiration to many. In another meeting with the High Commissioner of Sierra Leone, President Tinubu affirmed that Nigeria's interest in developing the West Coast and Africa remains a priority. Still on Thursday, an Abuja Federal High Court granted bail to the former presidential candidate and the former convener of #Revolution Now movement, Omoyele Sowore, to the tune of 10 million naira and one surety in like application filed by Sowore on Wednesday, adjourned the matter for ruling. Correspondent Kulujo reports that the trial judge granted Sowore bail in the sum of 10 million naira with one surety in like manner. The surety, according to the court, must be a responsible individual with landed property valued in like sum. The surety is expected to deposit the original document of the landed property and a passport photograph to the registrar of the court. The trial judge ordered Sowore to deposit his international passport with the registrar of the court as well. He, however, gave Sowore 24 hours to perfect the bail conditions or be remanded by the police till the bail is perfected. Sowore and his lawyer spoke on the bail condition, and the case has been adjourned to April 8, 2025. On Friday, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) announced a new registration date for the 10th Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). Registration will now commence on Monday, February 3, 2025, instead of the initially scheduled Friday, January 31, 2025. In a statement by JAMB Public Communication Advisor Dr. Fabian Benjamin, the change was necessary to allow the board to implement crucial adjustments to its registration process. This adjustment followed the recent suspension of certain law programs at selected universities, as reported by the Council for Legal Education. Additionally, JAMB discovered that some computer-based test CBT centers had obtained approval through deceptive means, necessitating further scrutiny and a disqualification of other stakeholders, and sincerely apologized for any disruption. It added that the extra time will be used to finalize the changes and ensure a smooth and transparent registration process. Still on Friday, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, emphasized that any decision on abolishing the death penalty in Nigeria must reflect the will of the people. Speaking during a meeting with officials from the British, the High Commission and the Death Penalty Project, Kalu acknowledged the growing global shift away from capital punishment, noting that over 130 countries have abolished it. He pointed out that Nigeria's legal system still enforces the death penalty for crime being introduced in the House. Kalu revealed that the Constitution Review Committee, which he chairs, is examining the issue. He assured that any proposed changes would undergo public hearing to gather input from Nigerians. Leaders of the death penalty project urged collaboration with Nigeria Parliament to explore possible legal reforms. They cited Zimbabwe's recent decision to abolish the death penalty as an example of progress in Africa. Kalu reaffirmed the commitment to upholding justice and humanity, stressing that any reform must balance fairness, security, and public opinion. And that's what we have on Tracking the Week.
Now, we move to the international desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. President Donald Trump has pushed into new trade law territory with an emergency sanction law to justify punishing 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican import and extra 10% duty on Chinese goods to curb fentanyl and illegal immigration into the U.S. Trade and legal experts said that the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act is untested for imposing import tariff, and Trump's action will likely face swift court challenges that could set important precedents. As widely expected, Trump declared a national emergency under IEEPA on Saturday, citing the extraordinary threat from fentanyl and illegal migration. The law gives the president broad powers to impose economic and financial sanctions in times of crisis, including against Russia over its war in Ukraine. IEEPA gave Trump, in his second week of his second term in the White House, the fastest path to impose a more permanent end to the war. The Gaza ceasefire puts 15 months of an Israeli genocide in the enclaves that killed more than 47,000 Palestinians, more than half of them women and children, according to local health authorities. Speaking at Tel Aviv airport before his departure, Netanyahu said he and Trump would discuss victory over Hamas, achieving the release of all our hostages, and dealing with the Iranian terror axis in the Middle East. Netanyahu called it telling that he would be the first foreign leader to meet Trump since his inauguration. I think is a testimony to the strength of the Israeli-American alliance, he said. It is also Netanyahu's first U.S. trip since the International Criminal Court (ICC) issued an arrest warrant against him in November for alleged war crimes committed in the Gaza Strip. A woman has died in Australia and thousands have been forced to flee their homes after torrential rainfall caused flooding in northern Queensland. Authorities say water will continue to rise and have warned of a dangerous and life-threatening situation. More than 1,000 millimeters of rain has fallen in parts of northeast Queensland since Friday, with record rainfall set to continue into Monday, according to Queensland State Premier David Crisafulli. Meteorology says that there could be worse floods in the region in more than 60 years. Crisafulli said conditions were unlike anything northern Queensland had experienced for a long time. The woman who died was on board the State Emergency Service dinghy, which hit a tree and capsized in the town of Ingham in northwest Queensland. It is understood she was a member of the public who was being rescued at the time and was not an emergency worker. 30 people were rescued from the roof of a house in Cardwell, about halfway between Cairns and Townsville. Videos at the match showing a man clinging to a pole in Hingham after his vehicle was washed away and being taken to safety by locals in a boat. The Townsville Local Disaster Management Group says the 1,700 homes in the city may be inundated, swum up to the second floor as river levels rise. Thousands of people across 6 Townsville suburbs were told to leave their homes by mid on Sunday, but officials said that 10% of residents adopted to stay. Still on the international scene, 4 new laws will tackle the threat of child sexual abuse images generated by artificial intelligence, the government has announced. The Home Office says the UK will be the first country in the world to make it illegal to possess, create or distribute AI tools designated to create child sexual abuse material, CSAM, with a punishment of up to 5 years in prison. Possessing AI pedophile manuals which teach people how to use AI for sexual abuse will also be made illegal, and offenders will get up to 3 years in prison. What we are saying is that AI is not putting the online child abuse on steroids, Home Secretary Yeti Cooper told newsmen. Other laws set to be introduced include making it an offense to run website where pedophiles can share child sexual abuse content or provide advice on how to groom children. That will be punishable by up to 10 years in prison, and the Border Force will be given powers to instruct individuals with the 773 people who have been killed in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo's largest city of Goma and its vicinity in a week amid fighting with Rwanda-backed M23 rebels who captured the city in a serious escalation of a decade-long conflict, authorities said. These figures remain provisional because the rebels asked the population to clean the streets of Goma. There should be mass graves, and the Rwandans took care to evacuate their Congolese government spokesperson Patrick Muyaya to the briefing on Saturday in capital Kinshasa, adding that the threat toll could be higher. M23 is the most potent of more than 100 armed groups vying for control in the DRC's mineral-rich east, which hold vast deposits critical to much of the world's technology. They are backed by about 4,000 3,000 troops from neighboring Rwanda, according to United Nations experts. The rebels' advance into other areas was slowed by the Central African nation's military, which recovered some villages from them. The military was weakened after it lost hundreds of troops, however, and foreign mercenaries surrendered to the rebels after the fall of Goma. Meanwhile, hundreds of Goma residents began returning to the city on Saturday after the rebels promised to restore basic services including water and power supply. They cleaned up neighborhoods littered with debris from weapons and filled with the stench of blood. UN peacekeeping chief Jean-Pierre Lacroix on Friday said M23 and Rwandan forces were about 60 kilometers north of South Kivu's provincial capital of Bukavu. Lacroix said that the rebels seemed to be moving quite fast, and capturing an airport a few kilometers away would be another really significant step. Goma's capture has brought humanitarian operations to a standstill, cutting off a vital lifeline for air delivery across eastern DRC, said Rose Chwenko, country director for the Mercy Corps Aid Group. Lastly, on the international scene, the government of Somalia's semi-autonomous Puntland region serves military strikes by the United States in the Golis Mountains